Alright, we're here at AutoZone or Advanced or wherever. And Paul is working on his... All they have is Fram? Oh, and mobile. Paul's working on his rear end for the S10, and we figured we'd film it. So I'm starting halfway through.
What do you think about Loopers? It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Fucking sponsor all the race cars and all the race events. Do you think I need some chassis posi track?
I don't know.
For that spool? To help those discs in the spool?
Sure.
Just like a solid piece of metal. The frickin' solid piece of metal. Family friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry for starting this halfway through, but I just realized I should probably film this. So we will see you when we get back to the shop. All right? And we're back at Paul's work. So we're gonna... This is what he's working on. New rear end. What ring gear is this? What gears is this? It's 430?
Yeah, 430 gears, yeah.
430 gears going into an 8.8 rear end that is going into
33 spline axles.
this. His, what, 88 S10? Is it 88?
83.
83.
83. 5.3 swap. It has a 4L60E that is blown and you guys can't smell it, but it reeks of transmission fluid. And it has a second stock rear end that is also leaking from everywhere that it can leak. So I'm assuming that it's probably about to pop another axle. Yeah. But hey, you know. Another axle, ladies and gentlemen. Right, so when I bought it, it had a welded diff in it already, which I'm 100% fine with, hence why I'm putting a spool in it. It had a welded diff, doing some burnouts. I mean, I was just driving normally. Came out of the parking lot and it popped off the driver's side axle, dropped the truck right onto the ground, axle, rim, everything went flying down the wrong side of the road past me. Went in front, hit a curb, bounced up about 12, 15 feet up in the air, took out a bus stop. Didn't hit any cars, didn't hit anything like that. Since the truck had a welded diff, it still was putting power to this wheel, so I just drove, dragging the rear end until the next block around and drove over the corner, grabbed my wheel and threw it in the bed. And then the security guards came over and took all my info, and I ended up lucking out on that. And the apartment complex, they ended up letting me slide. They just said it was fine and then never charged me for it or anything like that.
Oh, that's good.
Probably partially because I was like really hot on them to try to pay cash. What is it, chassis? What do you want?
Oh, yeah.
What do you want, chassis? Huh? What is it? What do you want? What do you want, chassis? Yeah, so this thing is now getting a 4L80 that's got heavy duty clutches in it and a shift kit. A shift kit and a Circle D transmission, which that probably would have been swapped today, honestly, if I had the torque converter. But apparently their off-the-shelf torque converters are custom torque converters, so therefore you have to wait 4 to 6 weeks for them.
Oh. Is it ordered?
It's been ordered. I just didn't realize that was a custom one, considering that was just some random one that I picked off of their website. Yeah. So this sounds like this might work for me.
So
what do you want?
We'll put this back together, and neither one of us know exactly what we're doing at all. Paul's done a bunch of YouTubing and research, and so that makes him certified.
Right. And you guys really missed the shenanigans earlier. During work hours, mind you. So the gear has to be pressed onto the spool and the bearings have to be pressed onto the spool. So naturally, since I don't have a press gear, I took the spool, threw it in the freezer for a couple hours, popped the heaviest car in the parking lot on the lift, grabbed some pieces of wood, and did whatever, made some kind of setup to push this on, went through and torqued them all, so we're good.
Yep.
Went to do the Pinion Gear, and that was for whatever reason, no matter how much weight I threw at it, I couldn't get it to work. So I did have to go over to his house and use the press, which was like one click.
Butter.
Put right on.
Like no problem.
No problem at all. Just one little tiny click. So buy the right tools or borrow them. So this is the wrong gear. That was a 410 gear.
Yeah.
So this is also C-clip eliminator and 33 spline. And the axle is shortened, the rear end is shortened too. So I did not do the shortening. If I did it, the welds would have looked nicer and it would have been lined up better. But
I was gonna say about that. I didn't know it was shortened. So
it's shortened an inch overall. And this actually came out of a Fox body, so that's why the tube kind of looks bent, because there was a wheelie bar set up and anti-roll bar, not an anti-roll, yeah. Anti-roll.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, anti-roll bar. And it also had the other provisions for a 4-link, which these ones I just left, and I know I left the outside caps, but it really doesn't make a difference.
It's going under the truck.
Yeah. So I just bought these and I welded these on, so you can see. I mean, I guess you can't. They're powder coated over, but
Not bad.
yeah,
He does know how to weld. But
yeah, I don't know why they did that. Like, why would you go through the hassle of shortening the rear end
yeah,
and then putting 8-inch ends back on? So now you have to buy C-clip eliminators. Why not just buy the 9-inch ends and buy 9-inch axles, and then you never have that issue, and then you could.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, like a 33 spline 9-inch axle is the same concept as a whatever.
Can't fix stupid.
And that's the other thing too, is that this rear end came with those axles and C-clips, which are 33 spline.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped making them because it's uncommon. Why do you need 31, 33, 35? Just 31, 35 is all that's left. So whatever. If it breaks, I'm fine.
Like it says right there. You can't fix stupid. Okay, we're gonna work on this for a little bit, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of watch. I don't know what I'm doing. We're gonna order food though. So.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
Huh?
I said I don't know what I'm doing either.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is the pinion thing. It's pressed on there with the whatever spacer is supposed to, and I'm totally guessing and hope that that's right. Because if not, then I gotta buy another $30 bearing.
We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see in a little bit. We're back.
So again, not having the right tools.
Of course not.
And also not borrowing the right tools from anybody.
Of course not.
All the videos say do not use an impact gun to drive this nut down. Obviously, we're not going to listen to that. So we fired this thing right down. We took these bolts that I just put right here, popped them in here.
Yep. Held it
with a pry bar.
Held it with that. It worked. It's tight.
Dotty. Cranked on the thing. Got rid of the slack, and then did this. Cranked on it some more, and then did this and said, yeah, that feels like 16 to 24 inch-pounds.
It's perfect.
So you're supposed to actually take a
Torque
wrench in inch-pounds and measure how much resistance there is here, and it should be like 16 to 24. So
this is perfect.
That feels like the ballpark.
That's
That's
perfect.
right, you know.
Yeah.
I use inch-pounds never, so I have a good feel for that.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
We're done.
And this is an old race, and and also we just figured that guessing on the depth of this pinion was correct too. So we went ahead and went full tilt and siliconed everything and put in all the new bearing and put in all the new seals and everything. So we're good.
It's perfect.
That thing's set for life.
Yep. It'll never come out again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yep. So that should be like 95% wrong.
Okay.
We're gonna pop this up so that way we can rotate this, and we're gonna try to check backlash. So the other big thing about this too is usually you have stuff to pull out of this, and that gives you a good idea on what size shims you should be running. I had nothing, and I also have no experience doing this. So again, I'm going to be guessing on the amount of shims that should be going in on either side, and we'll see what we got.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
Okay.
And what else are you going to do?
All right, we made progress. Good progress, actually. It seems to be that we actually, or Paul actually knows what he's doing, even though we all know he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the torque specs for these right here.
We painted on the gears.
cap. Oh, so main cap is 80, so it's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
It must be a very general thing.
So after painted and spun it around a few times, that's the pattern that we're getting. And that's the coast side, which I just learned. Top is the coast side, and this is the drive side.
And that's honestly just guessing on everything.
Yeah,
Wait.
we changed a couple of shims from one side to the other, but other than that, it went pretty smooth. So he's gonna torque that down, and
Also, during work hours, it was a little slow one day, so we pulled in the S10, popped it up on a lift, me and a couple of guys that work here, you know, my boss's time, ripped out the stock rear end, popped this one in, and I tack welded these on to get the correct pinion angle and everything. Then pulled this back out, put it on the shelf, and then popped the stock rear end back in.
it's ended.
You know?
Well,
We
that's
got a
good.
couple of guys that helps.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna torque these down, and who knows? Maybe we'll put this in the truck tonight. I don't know.
If we could ever decide on what we're doing for food.
All right, we got food. We're back. We've got that done. We're now putting in the axles with the C-clip eliminators, and where'd that plate go? This. So this used to be in that. That's still friggin' hot.
And this is also all brand, even though it's covered in shit, it's because I just used the plasma cutter. But this is all brand new, so when it came with the rear end, the guy was using this as a selling point. Brand new brakes.
Not
I
gonna
don't
use
give a
them.
fuck, I just need the space.
Yeah. So what we did is with the C-clip eliminators, you have these two pieces of ITV in between them, and then a gasket, and then the brake backing plate, and then another gasket, and then they get bolted to the axle tube. So this is where the brake plate's supposed to be, but Paul's not running brakes at all in the back. Doesn't need them. Burnouts only. That's it. I mean, the end goal is to be doing burnouts at idle.
Which it
Yeah.
does in the snow.
Awesome.
When it snowed out one time, and I was just trying to make it up the hill or stop without crashing into anyone, which is not a very large hill to get into the shop.
Yeah.
Just pressing the brakes, it was still pushing the truck forward because it was no traction in the front.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing now. I've got that side pretty much assembled. I'll do this one next while Paul tightens up this one. But yeah, just wanted to show that these plates are cut and being installed because burnouts only. So
Well, I mean, I still drive it to work, but 70% of your stopping power is in the front anyways. So.
yeah, who cares? So.
It just clicked 35
There we go.
3 times. Huh? It's way over torque now. You know, we'll click it 5 times.
35, 36, whatever. So we get this one all together, all done. Just doing this, and then I don't know. Maybe it'll go in the truck tonight. Maybe it won't. I don't know.
Got the cover on it too. I got the cover over there in that white box.
Oh.
Set that up.
There you go. Fancy.
You want the box chassis? So it's got the fill and the drain.
Fancy. Very nice. Do you want to put ITV on that, or you want to just run the gasket?
I think just running this. I mean, maybe the other one might be nicer than this one. It feels like a cork one.
You got the box chassis?
I think
You got it? Good job.
the one from Strange is thicker.
Oh, I'd go with the one from Strange.
It's definitely thicker.
Strange, Amazon,
You know, they're almost on the same level.
almost.
Same level of quality. Just kidding. Obviously, Amazon's better. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeff Bezos really knows his 8.8 rear ends.
It did get messed up in the shipping. It was like up against here and it bent across the top here. So I'm just going to throw that right at the top and that should be all right. Maybe just put a couple dabs of silicone just to hold the gasket on, you know? Probably not the worst idea. What's it going to hurt? So on the rear end, there's no like oil pickup. There's just kind of like some big holes where oil can slosh around. So you want to be very careful to use a very small amount of RTV. But when you're doing like your oil pan gasket or valve cover gasket or anything really, most likely like internal motor stuff, you want to use an excessive amount because you really don't want that oil pickup tube to really not have any of this in there. The more that's in your oil pickup tube, the better.
Yes.
Because you'll have way less oil pressure. If you have no oil pressure, then you're not going to have any oil leaks. So, except for my Suburban, it has no oil pressure.
And it leaked a lot.
And it leaks a lot, but it has a hole in the block, so...
Well, no, it's got a hole in the pan
It's
and a
got a hole.
crack in the block.
It's got a hole in the pan, a crack in the block. I was over there today dropping off some more parts of that thing. So, that should be back out soon.
Hopefully.
You know, they told me 2 weeks for my new motor to come in, and it's been a month, so that's cool.
Thank God you don't need it.
Yeah, thank God it's not my daily driver or anything.
Thank God you didn't sell your nice truck to buy that.
Yeah. Yep. But if you have looked at the prices of square bodies, I think I made the right call by putting that motor back in it, the diesel.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it in.
No?
No, because we don't have the right adapter from.
Oh, that's
here.
right. So you can't even drive it.
I can't drive it right now. It drives very poorly, but it drives. So they thought I was doing a burnout earlier, but it wasn't moving. They're like, "Oh, Paul's pointing around in the snow." No,
No.
Train is just not engaging. It's like, and then it went. And then when I was at a stop sign, so before I was like, all right, this training is really bad, it was doing like funny stuff. You know, when I was driving, I was like, I was like, wow, this thing's not great. But I think I could limp it along a couple more days, you know? Then I get to the stop sign, the red light, and there's a car in front of me, and I'm just sitting there. All of a sudden, the truck almost stalls out because it just lunges forward while I'm on the brakes. I don't know what happened. The thing just like decided it wanted to go, so it locked in and went. But I didn't rear end them, thankfully, so that's good.
Alright.
We're gonna have to RTV this back on, or else those axles aren't worth any money.
That's true. And don't mind the bent axle tube. We're aware of it. It's gonna be fine.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bent.
It just had a lot of stuff welded to it before and grinded off of it. That's what I'm gonna stick with.
Yeah.
Wow, that one moved a lot.
Really?
And it's on the bottom.
So we tightened up all the bolts all the way around, holding the gasket, holding the cover on, and then we went to go tighten these, and they were already tight to the point that none of these were tight. So
I'm getting like a good 2 rotation out of these.
wow, awesome.
So that's good.
So that's pretty much it. So that's how you put together an 8.8 the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, it might be the right way. We don't know.
I don't know. And we didn't actually give you any information on
At
like,
all. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, so this is one of those videos like how to, and then you watch it and you realize you didn't learn jack shit. Wow, they skipped over all the parts that actually have anything to do with building the rear end. More or less, you just got us talking about random stuff and pictures of a rear end as it was being built.
Yeah. That's the right way to go about it, though.
Yeah.
It's the only way you learn. Okay. That's it for tonight. We're going to take off. It's not going in tonight. I don't know when it's going in.
Whenever I find out the right adapter plate there.
Something they have at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or anything?
Probably. I just ordered that one off Amazon.
Oh.
I wish Justin looked at his stash of Mustang parts because he probably has one sitting at his house.
Probably.
So I might just go over there and steal that fucking S10 seat because he was supposed to sell it. He was supposed to give it to me, but then he was supposed to sell it again. So I'm just gonna go get it
Sounds good.
and drop off a red one and say, "Here you go." A seat's a seat.
Seat's a seat, man.
That's what he says.
All right. Say bye, chassis. No?
Chassis attack. 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 Good girl. You're a good girl. I don't have any treats, sorry. Just did extra labor for no reason.
Worked hard for nothing, chassis.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How about this? Your reward is we'll go home in 20 minutes.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you later.